Welcome back to House TV Live. I'm Rick Spence, and with me today is Ayca Stiffel with By Design Interiors out of beautiful Houston, Texas. And today we've got a special treat for you. It's a French country custom home. It's a breathtaking home. I mean, just when you come up to it, you just got to go in and get the tour. So Ayca, thank you for joining us, and give me a little feel for this amazing project.
This particular house is a wonderful couple that I've had the pleasure to work with for the last couple of years. I work with them from the ground up. The homeowner has a beautiful art collection, so that's kind of the essence of every corner of this house. We incorporated her art collection, and also she knew that she loved a very specific shade of greenish blue, so I injected that everywhere I could in the house. You know, we didn't take it too far into French country. We modernized it somewhat, and I think the results show a house that fits that description.
Just so many beautiful rustic materials and all kinds of stuff to talk about here. One of the first things I saw was like the double island situation in the kitchen. Don't often see that. And it looks like one is sort of the work island and the other one's like, I'm going to rinse my veggies island. So why don't we start in the kitchen?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So it is unusual. I haven't done too many homes with double islands, but in Texas things are bigger. The homeowners do love to entertain, so we have a lot of space for them to serve and prepare food. The secondary island is really more for the dining.
That stone looks pretty serious. Tell me about the stone you used.
Sure. So it is a quartzite. The first thing I usually do when I meet with a client, the first thing we select are the countertops. Both islands are one particular quartzite, and then there's on the perimeter, there's a different quartzite. It's a beautiful marriage of color.
So beautiful countertop, and then you complement that with a really nice scalloped backsplash there. Tell me about that material.
Sure. So that is actually zellige tile from Morocco, all handmade, hand cut. Every single one has a totally different tone. That's where the whole artisan, the more special feeling of a backsplash tile came in. I didn't want to do anything that was what's been seen. And also on the side, it's the same tile, but it's a different format. And I do that a lot in my designs. I do want to marry, different aspects of the kitchen together, but not have them be completely the same.
Tell me a little bit about some of the finishes and how you mix metals there.
We wanted to include a little bit more of a glamorous upscale feel. So the homeowner really wanted to have something that felt a little more luxe. So we went with a brushed gold finish on her plumbing and also picked that up with her hardware and their lighting and in other areas of the home where we'll have a little touch of gold, just enough.
Really nice. And of course, the floors throughout are just gorgeous. What's your trick for choosing the orientation of the planks?
That's another great question. I like to have the flooring run perpendicular to the entrance and make things, because usually a home layout, you'll have an entry and then it will open up. And that's where I want the space to feel opened up. I don't want to see the ends of rungs. So to me, it's important in practically all the homes that I do design is to have the flooring go side to side and perpendicular to the entry.
Let's go into the dining room and tell me about the goals for the dining room and what you did here.
Sure. So the dining room is not encompassed by four walls. It's open, which is the whole concept really of that whole main living space. We wanted to incorporate an area which would be defined by the lighting. Furniture placement and lighting is key to create a really nice kind of atmosphere within all those elements. Again, we wanted to not make it too traditional, so we did do some very light window treatments, not for privacy, more for looks, and also to kind of help with the noise levels in an open space like that. So definitely, I think it helps, and of course, having upholstered chairs also help as well.
Now, the living space in here is significant too. This is a whole other experience. The cabinetry adjacent to the fireplace almost looks like it was furniture that you could have moved into the space, right? Really nice. And that's a significant fireplace. Walk me through some of the key elements in this open living area, which is just beautiful and cozy too.
It's interesting that you brought up the fact that they look like they're built in. I was challenged, I'm going to say, with this project with coming up with a way to house the TV. I designed those cabinets. I didn't sleep for a good 6 months while they were being produced because it was such a tight fit. Doing built-ins for clients, it's always, if you want to invest in beautiful furniture, wouldn't you want to take that with you? So that's kind of why we went down this road, because we wanted them to have a beautiful piece of furniture that they could take with them.
Then you have these sort of structural elements for the bookcases there. These little nooks, these little, so you don't have like these flat walls. You have these little elements of interest throughout.
She's got some beautiful corals that we wanted to display. Some of the things that you see throughout the house were planned to house what she already had.
Tell me a little bit about how you balance texture and materials in that space.
Working with the color palette that the homeowner loves, which is kind of, creams and like blues and greens. And she was really wanting to have that kind of consistent throughout the house, a very neutral palette, because I feel like with neutral palettes, you can always add to them and it's not dated and she wouldn't be bored of it. It is a lot of natural colors, natural elements that we incorporated within the space.
Let's go to another beautiful space, the master bedroom, where some additional art is displayed. Walk me through this hyper cozy space.
Sure. So again, multiple tones and textures in the space. We'll start with the wall covering. So we picked this kind of natural seagrass wall covering, which really kind of helps the artwork stand out. We did all new bedding, all new bed, layer upon layer to really kind of have that cozy feel.
Where did you start? You said in the kitchen you started with the stone. In the bedroom, where do you like to start in terms of this is the anchor for the space?
Bedrooms are easy. I always like to first start with the bed because I think, that's the focal point of a room. And in this case, it was the bed with the artwork. So we had to kind of choose the right scale.
Do you want to hop into the bathroom up here? What a beautiful respite this is from the day. Again, beautiful artwork, tub in the window overlooking, I'm thinking maybe the backyard. I mean, just gorgeous. Tell me about this space.
This is another space where we kind of modernized things a little bit. So we used a large format porcelain tile for the countertops, and we used the same one in the shower wall that we book matched. So there's some modern elements. We could have gone completely traditional here, but we didn't. I picked this beautiful chandelier that kind of created a beautiful glow within the barrel ceiling, and she's got a beautiful piece of artwork. She, having done this before, I guess that was very helpful for me as a designer because she knew what she wanted. I just had to get her there. So, she, for every room, she's like, this is the artwork I have for this room. So I worked with the color palette. I worked with the mood and the feel for each piece.
Tell me a little bit about how house fit into the equation in terms of collaboration and, dashboards, mood boards, that kind of things, and how you work together.
Absolutely. So as a designer, I would have to say the House Pro now platform is incredible for me to kind of share my vision and my ideas with my clients from planning all the way to execution. So, I'm able to have all sorts of room boards where I can present options to my clients. They can give me their feedback, and then that translates, further into the thick of things with having to deal with orders. So I think it's just, I can't say enough about how much I use and utilize and really appreciate the platform that House has. And I'm always on there, and it's always my best friend.
That's great to hear. All right, so let's continue on this beautiful tour. So many people just resonate with laundry rooms. Why don't we just touch on it briefly? Because I know everyone gets a kick out of it. What's some of the key things you've learned over the years about laundry rooms and making them not only pleasing to be in, but like super functional?
First of all, it's a chore. Laundry is a chore, and you have to make chores fun. I always have initial meetings with clients from day one, pulling materials and just kind of doing like a little layout of different tiles and, inspiration. The backsplash tile that you've seen in the laundry room was part of that the first day we met, and she's like, I love that tile. We have to figure out where we can use it. We incorporated also these hang space that has mesh front. So lets air circulate through, but you don't have these kind of unsightly articles of clothing hanging. So everything has a place, everything looks beautiful, and it's another extension of the house that has the right vibe, I think.
How about one more space? How about the powder room?
Yes, that's my favorite, actually.
The powder room's your favorite out of all the
Yeah,
spaces.
of all the spaces.
All right. Tell me why it's your favorite.
So the powder room is also the pool bath. You know, typically in homes of this size, especially, you'll find there would be a separate pool bath and there'll be a powder room. First of all, I had to address both needs from a durability standpoint. And also, the space itself has a lot of angles. And so, what I wanted to do is introduce some organic elements because I always feel like that's the best way to address a very angular space is introduce organic elements. So that's why it's my favorite space because I feel like it really, if you didn't have that wall covering in place, this space you would feel the angles and you would say, gosh, this is an awkward space. But because of the beautiful fluid magnolia branches coming down and kind of encapsulating the space, it really takes that edge off. And also, you know, I did design the wainscoting, so that's kind of the element that gives it the durability because this wall covering is, you know, it's not ideal for this kind of space, but we made sure that it would wear beautifully.
Really great. I love the functionality too. It's like you're out there barbecuing and you need to make a pit stop. It's like right there. You don't have to go in the house, traverse through the house, whatever. It's really handy to have that. But it's not just utilitarian. It's actually a beautiful space. So love that. And it's always interesting to hear from a designer that this kind of space is one of your favorites in the whole house because of the challenge that it had for you.
And you know, like I always, when I start on projects and I get to know my clients, and I get to know them really well. And, you know, the best projects for me are the ones where I see things from start to finish. And certainly when I talk about start to finish, I had this wall covering in mind when I first saw the space, saying, okay, this is what this is calling. It's like, it's calling me, right? And then seeing it through to fruition, because wall covering is the last thing to go into a space. It really is the cherry on top, and it really pulls the whole project together. You know, that's why projects for me that are start to finish like this, where I get to do everything, the outcomes are always just pristine because, you know, you've got the cherry on top. It's just perfect.
What a great finish. Congratulations on all of this. Really fantastic. Good luck
All
with
right.
everything, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you
See
so
you.
much. I
Okay.
appreciate the time.
See you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.